It's like, I think that's what it is. Like, I don't get bored because I have too much ADD I never get to that point.
Hey.
Hi. We're just discussing.
I'm Kris.
So it is rolling.
This is Carl. This is human Carl.
This is human Carl. I really like that Carl more.
I wouldn't say that.
I was saying we for myself and my other personality.
He's quieter. So this is another gaming update, another learning update, or it's our progress report for the week, So we've been going through Godot tutorials, great YouTube channel. One thing that Carl's never been a programmer. I think we covered this last week.
Yeah, human Carl hasn't. Maybe this one has.
That's true. Human Carl has never been a programmer. So what we've been doing is I was looking for some way to teach programming using GDScript. At first, we were just going to go through C++ and teach him to program that way, and then have him learn GDScript or maybe even Python. I come from C#, is my most recent well-known programming language that I was fluent in. And like I said, Carl comes from nothing. But we did Godot Tutorials, a YouTube channel. It has really excellent tutorials for teaching the basics of programming, functions, that kind of stuff, variables, types, through using GDScript. So, so you want to update on your learning journey? What have you learned this week? What have you been learning recently?
I feel like it's all just been the fundamentals of what programming is and getting ready to then apply it in the next series of videos to Godot. But this way, when they say things, I'm not like, what? What's the function? What's the int, the int and the scale and all that stuff. Remembering the colon after after parentheses and just
the syntax.
Yeah,
is helpful.
Yeah, nice to know that hashtags are just really notes, even though just leave for the notes. Yeah. How to comment a longer string, what a string is. We started to get into arrays and indexing, things are about defining, functions, the order, and then we went into if-thens for a while, and then why match is better. In some situations, but it definitely cleans up and reduces the lines of code.
I learned matches switch case. I believe that's what it's called in C#. Yeah, and it was good for me too. I haven't programmed anything except for I made a little search function website and a little deck shuffling website in JavaScript a few months ago. But besides that, I haven't programmed anything in 6 years. So it was good for me it's always great to brush up on your fundamentals, especially when you're trying to teach somebody else.
Right.
So, and now we're getting into applied stuff. Carl's been going through tutorials that for actually coding different things and applying knowledge, right? And you feel
applying the knowledge, or at least being able to recognize what is actually happening on the screen instead of just being okay, so I have to copy all this down and hopefully it works.
Right.
And then I've made my own mistakes. And the most recent times I haven't had to seek help in fixing them. I had to find it in my brain, but then, they definitely make it so that you can deduce or at least start to find the area.
Yeah, it's feeling comfortable with finding errors and debugging and stuff like that, which is really good, really good.
Yeah, opening up to just Googling things.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is definitely a step in evolution, just the willingness to Google.
I learned graphic design. And then I took on a job as a graphic designer, and I worked for years as a graphic designer. And every once in a while, I'll still come across something that I just don't know how to do, or it's changed and I don't know how to do it anymore in the programming language, in the programs that I use, which is Adobe Suite. And so I have a rule now when I'm working, which is if I can't figure it out in about a minute, I just have to Google it. And usually with Adobe, it'll come right up and you'll have an answer right away. And I just had to make this because otherwise I would do a project and I'd be trying to do one little thing and I would spend a half an hour trying to figure it out. And listen, if you're not working and if that's not a job you're getting paid for, go for it, right? But I was turning some jobs that should have taken me 15, 20 minutes into 2-hour-long jobs because I was exploring the intricacies of, InDesign or something. Which is great, but it's not the time. So I learned to set a rule for myself, and if I don't know how to figure something out within a minute, just Google it. sometimes it still takes a long time, but sometimes it's very quick, very easy. And sometimes for learning, you do have to bang your head up against the wall.
Yeah.
But it is smart to have a time limit and a Google when you're actually trying to build something and work on something that's going out or, for yourself.
Yeah. And if you are going to fake it till you make it, Google is definitely the way to enable that.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
right? Like everyone that does fake it is like, I'll just Google it and I'll be fine.
Google is so important. Stack Exchange is going to be your friend for like programming concepts. And so like every programmer has had to Google something at one point or another, or at least read through the reference documents, the APIs and everything.
Yeah. So, even the Godot tutorial in the very beginning, which I think you probably rewatched and saw the beginning part again. But he even says that he's like, step one is like just Google it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then if you really don't find it on Google, then look through here. But if you look through here, I'm just going to tell you to Google it. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah, we watched the basics programming fundamentals with GDOScript, which I had not seen anywhere else and was really helpful to have. And then we're moving on to the more specific programming things that deal with like Godot Engine itself and what Godot can do. Yeah, and how do you feel about it? You feel pretty comfortable? I love it. I get more excited every day. Like, I think, like you said, the hard part for me right now is to not get everything is super exciting and everything lights my brain on fire with ideas, but I really just need to like stay in the pocket, be a sponge and learn everything. So at least I can finish those ideas before they just run rampant. And then I just have 1,000 ideas running rampant in my head and I'm not actually learning. I'm just spinning around chasing my own tail that I made up. It'll all come together as we go. Yeah, this will fit in. I just released a video will be coming out around the same time as this one where I talk about doing concept art. And that's something I was also saying is like a concept art is a sketch, is a note just to remind yourself of something that you've thought of, right? And so you don't necessarily only make the first level of concept art for stuff you're going to use. You make it for anything that you think you might want to use, right? And by doing that, you're not going to lose. You're basically writing down your ideas. Yeah, you're saving your thought file. Yeah, that might be a little bit more complicated than actually just taking notes. And by doing that, like sketching that out and stuff, you can then have a pile of ideas that you can go back to and polish up and render more. And it's the same with programming, right? Like you're like, oh, I want to build this function for the ship that we're making. Like this is something Carl comes up with all the time, is like a new weapon or a new way to use a weapon for one of the ships. And we have this stack of Post-it notes. He's supposed to write the idea on there, or if it's bigger, take a piece of paper, sketch it out, and we put it in the pile where we will start going through and taking those out and, oh, it's pretty. And taking those out and actually deciding, like, does this work with the game that we're still making? Where will it go? Et cetera, et cetera. And we're going to start doing that. I also felt a big boost in confidence from going through the basics. And I did do a little bit of an outline for just the basic starting of a program of our game. I haven't programmed in about 6 years, and I've never programmed in GDOScript. I came from Unity, and I'm self-taught. So I'm a little bit embarrassed to share my process, but I will. And yeah, subscribe if you want to follow along. For us basically a noob, complete noob, and a self-taught, never used Godot before programmer, we're building our own game. Subscribe if you want to come along with that journey. I'm an artist, Carl's a writer, and yeah, it's going to be really fun. Whether we have great success or medium success or tiny success, or if it's all Carl's fault and we fail. This Carl. This Carl, not human Carl. Yeah, not human Carl. Yeah. All right. This one has cheaper therapy. Yeah. Like this video if you like us, or like it if you don't like us. Yeah, that would be nice. Just like anything to tell the algorithm. Nice to share us. A video. Anything you could do to tell the algorithm that to be nice to us. Exactly. Just be nice to us. And subscribe if you want to follow us along on that journey. Yeah. Thanks. Bye-bye. Bye. Yeah, that was good.